Love the team.
You'll need to be selective in the shots that you look to attack.
Darren, you were speaking this morning and saying to me that when you're up against the world #1, it's often you look at the number and it's intimidating, and before you know it, the first set's gone.
Yes.
Ah! 30-15.
Big thing watching Novak over the last couple of years has been his willingness to not take anybody for granted. Doesn't matter who he's playing. First 4 to 6 games, he will get himself involved in long, extended rallies. He'll kill himself on the court to win points. It's like he's sending a message to the other side of the court that if you want to beat me today, you're going to have to do this for 2 or 3 hours. And that's why you see a lot of his score lines 6-3, 6-1, or 6-4, 6-love. Players can't stay with him.
Serbia leads by 3-1.
Well, Italy come through there with a two-handed backhand right in behind there. 3-1 now.
Massimo in the white cap there. Great story. He's been Andreas's coach for 17 years. Too many of those coaching stories in this day and age of professional tennis, and that's a great one. Started working in the white cap there. Massimo Sartori started working with Andrea Seppi when he was 11 years of age. Tony Pickard, long-time coach of Stefan Edberg. I know Juan Carlos Ferrero had his coach since the juniors.
I thought loyalty was a word that's been thrown out of the dictionary.
Actually, Novak Djokovic has had the same coach for a lot of time as well, Marian Vida.
How do you keep it fresh, Darren? You coached reasonably long stints with Leighton and Andre.
I think Novak has also done a great job that occasionally he's brought in some outside talent. He brought in Mark Woodford a number of years ago to try to help him with the net game. Also, Todd Martin came in for a little trial there for about 12 months, 2 or 3 years ago.
That's that serve jumping into the body. Good second serve. Seppi couldn't control it. For a 4-1 lead now.
Big smash to finish the point. And Djokovic with a break leads 4-1.
How many you played when you played on tour?
25.
15 left.
Tell you how many we played.
40, 45? Played every
45.
week. Oh, well,
Yep.
a bit tougher to come back to Australia
Yeah,
those days. Once you
exactly.
went away, you played every week.
Yep.
Fred, you had so much wonderful success in your career. How did you keep yourself at a peak when you were needing to operate for 45 weeks in a row?
Well, you really couldn't. That's why it's amazing that this man did it for 9 months without losing. You know, you went out and tried every week, but physically and mentally, you couldn't get up and win tournaments week after week after week. And that's why what Djokovic did just 2 years ago was just quite remarkable. But you went out and you gave it your all. You knew you were fit. You're looking as fit as you could be. But it's just like today. I think you judged your tennis career is judged on basically Grand Slams and Davis Cup, and anything else by the wayside is a bonus. But the main events for your tennis career are Davis Cup, playing for your country, and the Grand Slams.
Actually, you'd be a good person to ask this, Fred, but Novak last year, if he won the French Open, he would have been the first person since Rod Laver to hold all 4 Grand Slams at once.
Yep.
Would you have classed that as just as special? It wouldn't have classified as a Grand Slam because it's not in the 12-month period.
I think he's got a great opportunity, in my opinion, to win the Grand Slam this year. You know, all the calendar year, they call it the calendar year Grand Slam. Well, there's, I think Martina and Margaret Court and a few others did it 4 in a row, but not quite in the calendar year.
That's right. Steffi Graf back in 1988, she won the 4 slams and the Olympic gold medal. It's a late flick on that forehand side is occasionally catching Novak leaning in the wrong direction, and does it really well. Just holds the forehand to the last second and disguises that direction in which he's going. Stretching and trying to overplay the approach shot. Not overly comfortable up at the net is Andreas Seppi. Novak's really improved that part of his game in the last couple of years. In 2011, he spent most of his time at the baseline, but he came into the net twice as much in 2012. I think also part of that, Fred, is a little body management. Trying to shorten the points and look after the body in the early rounds and not getting extended in these long 2-3 hour matches in the early rounds of tournaments.
Well, we were talking about earlier when we were waiting for Novak to come on court, the fact that years ago he had respiratory problems. He withdrew from Wimbledon at the semi-final because of blistered toe. He withdrew from the French, the crook back, and everybody thought, well, now he's out there, he's as fit as anybody out there, and there's none of those problems ever arise now. So that's body looking after your body or getting it fixed up.
And there's also no stress about the way he plays. He's picking the right shots now. He doesn't care about playing 20 or 30 shots to win a particular point, whereas before, because he was trying to protect the body, he'd be pulling triggers from the wrong shot, wrong place in the court.
Love
For mine,
team.
Darren, the thing that turned him around, Djokovic, he was number 3 in the world for a number of years, and he went out and he worked and worked and worked on his forehand, and I think the forehand is the shot that's improved the most, and that shot, that forehand return of serve that actually took Nadal out of his comfort zone back into Nadal's forehand off that deuce court, and he could never play that shot early in his career, but now that is just part of his repertoire.
Great point.
59.
Also, he's cut down on the bounces. I think the record bounce was a Davis Cup match against Australia,
15,
and Serbia was 26.
I was there, I remember that. Nice power there from Seppi, deep into the forehand side, forcing the error. Doesn't have a great record against top 10 players. He was 1-11 last year. His lone win against a top 10er was against John Isner in Rome on clay.
An opportunity here for Seppi to get back on serve for Italy. Break point. Top players, Djokovic, Federer, Murray, Nadal. Even go a little bit deeper into somebody like Zonga. Down break points. Most of them have that ability on most occasions to come up with a good first serve.
And they also won't let you find their weaker side. If it's Nadal, he will hit a serve that is designed to make sure he hits a forehand on the first shot. Same for Novak, same for Federer. Murray doesn't worry about that so much. If you're lucky enough to get the return of serve back, normally